This is Plant-Based Briefing, What Makes Animal Protein High Quality by Nelson Huber-Disla at nutritionstudies.org. And I'm Marian Erickson, host of this curated content plant-based podcast, where I narrate a variety of articles on healthy, compassionate, and sustainable living with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. Think of it as your daily dose of inspiration to stay the course with this healthy, compassionate lifestyle. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. What makes animal protein high quality? By Nelson Huber-Disla at the T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies at nutritionstudies.org. Numerous authoritative public health agencies have reiterated the plant-based diet's ability to provide more than adequate protein levels, including the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, A&D. In a 2016 position statement on vegetarian diets, A&D authors cite several research studies from previous decades, reaching the following stance. Vegetarian, including vegan, diets typically meet or exceed recommended protein intakes when caloric intakes are adequate. The terms complete and incomplete are misleading in relation to plant protein. Protein from a variety of plant foods eaten during the course of the day supplies enough of all indispensable or essential amino acids when caloric requirements are met. Protein needs at all ages, including for athletes, are well achieved. In other words, animal foods are not necessary for protein. Most of the world's protein already comes from plants anyway. About 63% of the world's protein comes from plants, despite those crops only accounting for 23% of arable land use. And yet, measures of protein quality. Although the A&D position paper quoted above refutes the long-held belief that animal-based proteins are more complete than plant proteins, this misconception persists. Where did it originate? How have different proteins been measured historically, and are these measures useful when assessing the healthfulness of foods today? Throughout the past century, researchers have used several methods for measuring the value of different proteins, including protein efficiency ratio, PER, biological value, BV, amino acid score, AAS, and protein digestibility, corrected amino acid score, PDC-AAS. Each of these measures has been preferred by nutrition researchers at different times. Though there are differences, they have all been used, intentionally or otherwise, to reinforce the supposed value of animal-based foods. A food's protein efficiency ratio, or PER, is calculated by dividing the gain in body mass by protein intake. In effect, it measures a protein's ability to promote body growth. Biological value, or BV, determines how efficiently the body uses various proteins by measuring the proportion of nitrogen retained in the body. The more recent measures, amino acid score, or AAS, and protein digestibility corrected amino acid score, PDC-AAS, essentially measure how readily the body can use the amino acids present in different proteins. Because animal-based proteins are more similar to ours than plant-based proteins, they are more efficiently used by our bodies, thus giving rise to the idea that they are of a higher quality. But all of these measures of protein quality rest on the same assumption. They assume that the highest quality proteins are those that most efficiently promote growth in the body. Does faster growth equal better health outcomes? Not according to a large body of evidence. Foods containing quote-unquote high-quality animal protein are associated with increased serum cholesterol levels, heart disease mortality, the incidence of various cancers, and several other chronic diseases. Decades of laboratory research have demonstrated numerous biological mechanisms by which high-quality animal protein could imperil health. Foods containing high-quality animal protein are pro-inflammatory. A single high-fat animal-based meal triggers rapid inflammation in the body and damages arterial function. While they arguably do not go far enough in their assessment, the World Health Organization's Internal Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, has labeled processed meat as carcinogenic to humans and red meat as probably carcinogenic. To return to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics position statement quoted above, individuals who reduce or remove animal protein from their diet have a decreased risk of certain health conditions, including ischemic heart disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, certain types of cancer, and obesity. In fact, other research has shown that these conditions can be reversed, and the longest-lived people in the world eat predominantly plant-based diets. Here's what I find strange. The measures of protein value mentioned above, PER, BV, AAS, PDC-AAS, entirely neglect this context, yet they're repeatedly cited as reasons to continue eating animal-based foods. Why? You just listened to What Makes Animal Protein High Quality by Nelson Huber-Disla at nutritionstudies.org, and I'm your host, Marian Erickson. And I've done a number of other episodes about protein, plant protein, why it's healthier than animal protein. You can search for that wherever you listen to this podcast, but I will put a few in the show notes. You might want to check out episode 295, Changing Protein Requirements and Increasing Protein Intake After Age 65. Episode 316, The No-B.S Guide to Plant-Based Protein. 400, Animal Protein versus Plant-Based Protein, and The Protein Combining Myth. Those are by Dr. Michael Greger at Nutrition Facts, and that protein combining myth one is such an important one because a lot of us still have that incorrect belief that we need to purposely combine incomplete proteins, so check that one out for sure. And then 523 and 524, Protein for Vegans and Plant-Based Eaters by Brigitte Gemme at Vegan Family Kitchen. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.